Joining me now is Superintendent of Schools Jack Dale. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, our school year is well underway, and we've had some enrollment surprises. Tell us what's going on.
Well, we went to full-day kindergarten this year in all of our schools, which is great for the community. And with that, though, we also expected to have kids come out of usually some private sector full-day daycare and go into full-day kindergarten. And usually 10, 12% increase, but we had probably more in excess of 15% increase. We now have a record size cohort class of our kindergarten. It's over 13,000, and none of our other grade levels have 13,000 children in it. You know, to just give you a perspective, the high school classes tend to be 11, 12,000, but this is our first one of in excess of 13,000. And then we're anticipating next year to have even more kids more growth than what we've seen any of the last 3 years. Our preliminary numbers that we're looking at are somewhere around maybe 4,000 more kids next year.
And we have been ticking up steadily over the last 5 years.
What's really interesting is probably 4 years ago we had pretty flat enrollment, and then when the economy started going south, we actually started going up in enrollment. We had fewer people leaving Fairfax, same number of people coming in, but fewer people leaving, and now the birth rate has increased, and so you watch that obviously 5 years later for kindergarten kids, and so the combination of all those things, instead of flat and then 1,000 or 2,000, we're now probably next year going to be looking at potentially up to 4,000 more students.
So huge budget implications.
Huge, yeah, because we have to add millions, tens of millions of dollars just to keep class size the same and provide for additional counselors, psychologists, social work, all the people that go with supporting more kids, mainly classroom teachers. And then that just adds more in the budget. And if we don't add that, then what has to happen is the class size has to go up. And of course, the community doesn't enjoy seeing that, nor do we.
No, no. Well, we'll keep our eyes on that. And I know you'll be releasing your budget in January. So at a future date, you'll come back and share some more details about that.
Yeah, in fact, we're still working on just how much money we have to add in the budget just to deal with enrollment.
Yeah, wow. Another bit of news, you have announced your retirement, which we're all very sad about. I must say that the staff is very sad, but we know that you want to pursue some personal things, and it's time, right?
Time to slow down a little bit. Yeah, I'll have at the time, first of all, it's like a little over a year and a half away, so it's a ways out there. And so we've got plenty of things that I'm going to have to work on, especially with the school board elections that are going on, and then a new school board taking office. It'll be a brand new group of players January 1. And so part of the first year for them will be to acquaint themselves with all of the different components of providing leadership and direction for a school system. The most prominent, of course, is our student achievement goals and what we call our operational expectations for fiscal services, human resources, technology, and all of the ancillary services. Then we put that in place over the last 5, 6 years, and the next board has to either embrace that or change it, because that's their job, is to decide what the direction should be for the school system, and then our job, of course, is to meet those goals that they set out. So
what's one really good piece of advice for new school board members? What would you say?
The biggest,
not only here, but anywhere.
Well, in general, you're going to be drinking from a fire hose, and so try and stand back and ask, what are your core values and beliefs, especially in difficult trade-off areas? An example that we have to deal with is, would you like to decrease class size or increase salaries of your employees?
That's a tough one.
Those are very difficult, and for which there's no right or wrong answer. But that's part of what the school board has to wrestle with, is where are the priorities? Previous boards have had to wrestle with, how do we deal with kids that have greater needs, either coming from poverty and need more attention for their literacy, typically, and kids who don't yet know how to speak English as fluently as our native born. How do we get those kids up to speed? And we, as a school system and the prior boards, have said we need to devote more resources to those individuals because we know it works. That's why we are successful in Fairfax, and all of our kids are succeeding at very high levels. Even our kids in poverty, and even our kids who don't have English as a primary language. But by the time they are with us for several years, usually within 3 years, they're speaking English fluently and they're performing at grade level. So that's a hallmark of our success, but it's been devoting resources to very strategic areas. For the new board, you have to reaffirm that or decide, no, I want to do something different. So those are always balancing it. So stand back and really ask, what is it? What's your vision for Fairfax County Public Schools? What does it mean to be successful? What would that look like, taste like, feel like for kids in the classroom, for teachers on the ground floor, and that sort of thing. So look at it from that perspective.
And you'll be leading them through that discussion.
Right, I are helping them with facilitators, consultants, and so we've got to do that. That's going to be work for a year. And once, because that is most important. Once they establish that, then about a year from now, they'll begin working with probably a search firm to find a new CEO.
Yeah. Well, again, we wish you the best. You'll be around for a while, so you'll be back many times before we say a final farewell.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.